He used to making females feel insecure. He's used to females just looking at him like he has a halo around him and he cannot do no wrong, even though his thick thighs rub together and he got them childbearing hips. Yellow diamonds look like BP. Bitches fly from DC on my private to Waikiki. So you don't think I'm a bad girl, she purred. Jordan had cleaned her up after her romp in the cornfield, and Mimi was now wearing Jordan's long white nightgown. It was damn near sheer. Ooh, why don't you show me how bad you can be, little mama, Lamont thought. She was turning him on. He could see those tiny but inviting boobs through the nightgown. But he couldn't do anything with her. She worked for him. He rubbed the crotch of his sweatpants, hoping she didn't notice his growing hard-on. The way she was acting, she might grab it, and he never liked to start anything he didn't finish. But no, he wasn't going to touch her. She was on drugs. She'd be screaming grape tomorrow, and he wouldn't blame her if she did. Nailing her now would make him no different from F.M. and Flea Floyd. As much as he'd love to give it to her, it would be wrong any which way you looked at it. She was an artist on his label, and he never liked to mix business with X. He wouldn't just be able to get rid of her afterwards like other women. Good. At least we know the mother hunchy got some kind of principles and mirth. If he wasn't going to have a relationship with her, it would turn into a pain once she started catching feelings, which he was certain she would do if he put it on her as only he could. Puh. And surprisingly, he had a protective feeling toward her. He would try to get her to go to sleep, and that was all. But with all this bad girl talk, it was going to be difficult. He went down to the kitchen to take a breather for a minute and to get another bottle of Dasani. Nate had said to keep her hydrated, and Mimi was gulping water down like a marathon runner. When he returned, she was standing in front of the toilet in his bathroom with the door wide open, nightgown up and panties down, wiping herself. He involuntarily turned his head. He was rocking a down below baldy. He wouldn't have pegged her for that. He rubbed his crotch again and walked back to the bed. When Mimi came out, she looked down at his frantically tapping foot and said, "What's wrong with your feet?" Indignantly, "Nothing. One of your toenails is black. I jammed it playing basketball." She bent down and started stroking his foot. "Your feet are so ugly," she squealed. Lamont pulled his foot away. "No, they're not." "Yeah, they are." She wrinkled her nose. "They're crusty." "Shut up." He went to the drawer to get some socks. Mimi rolled all over the bed, laughing hysterically. "Those are the ugliest feet I have ever seen." She screamed into the pillow. "Good job, Mimi. So now you didn't put him in an insecure place. He used to making females feel insecure. He's used to females just looking at him like he has a halo around him and he cannot do no wrong, even though his thick thighs rub together and he got them childbearing hips. Good job, Mimi." He came back and sat on the bed. "Leave my feet alone." She tried to stifle her laughter. "Do you get manicures?" Vanessa told her he did. His hands were beautiful, well moisturized, and his nails always had a clear sheen. "Yeah," he said sheepishly. "So why don't you get pedicures too instead of walking around with those nasty feet?" She rolled around on the bed and howled. "Ooh, she is wearing his ass out." "Everyone sees your hands," he said sharply. I'm not going to put a Bulgari ring on an ungroomed hand. But you'll put those ugly ass feet into your $400 pair of shoes? Right. Pedicures are gay, he retorted. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. No, the fuck they ain't. I appreciate a man that get pedicures. I really do. I mean, I like both because to me, just if you don't take care of your feet, and I'm bad because I do take better care of my hands than I do my feet, except for like in the summertime. In the summertime, women put a lot of work in on their feet. They spend a lot of money on their feet, but like the rest of the months that them toes ain't out, we kind of be neglectful, but it's important for us to get our feet done. One, because I know when my feet ain't done, them blickers start hurting, and I ain't got time to be dealing with all that ingrown toenail bullshit. Man, them ingrown toenails be putting people in the hospital. Pedicures are gay, he retorted, and manicures aren't. It's fine lines. That really set her off. She was howling so loud he thought the neighbors a cornfield over might come knocking. Ha ha ha, Lamont drawled sarcastically. He knew she wasn't in her right state of mind, but an insult was still an insult. Were his feet that bad? Answer yes. Because remember, he was wearing Mimi's ass out about her hair, her skin, her nails, the way she dressed, everything. Now it's your turn, thick thighs. Childburn hips. All of a sudden, she was right behind him, her arms around his neck. I'm sorry, she baby talked. Did I hurt your feelings? He tried to shake her off. My feelings don't get hurt. Lies. The mother hunchies whose feelings don't get hurt be the most hurtful people. It's just, in some cases, motherfuckers die. You hurt Charlie feelings, he just go in the corner and cry. You hurt Chucky's feelings, you gonna wind up 6 feet in the ground. It's just the way it is sometimes with some of these ninjas. You never know. I don't care if your feet are crusty and ugly, she said. You're still a beautiful person on the inside. You think so? He said, wondering if she'd say that tomorrow when she wasn't feeling so damn ecstatic. She slipped her arms around his waist and rubbed herself against his back, on the bare spot between his t-shirt and his drooping sweatpants, right above the crack of his ass. He couldn't feel the wet spots seeping through her thong. Was she aroused by him? Yes, Lamont, she hummed. You're the best. Lamont found himself in a compromising and arousing position. To F or not to F? That was the question. And maybe she really did like him. He glanced around and saw that her eyes were closed and her face was smashed up into his shoulder. So he pushed down the elastic waist of his sweats. He had no underwear on and began to openly stroke himself. You want me to kiss, ... And she mumbled something unintelligible into his neck. Then she sucked. Oh shiz, that was his spot. He felt a tingle of arousal surge from his soles of his ugly feet to the tips of his graying hair. Do you want me? She whispered again, lapping on his spot. He thought she'd mumbled, kiss it, and he wanted to say yes. He hunched over and stroked faster. Do you? She said between nibbles. What? Want me to kiss them? Them? If she was talking balls, now it was over. Kiss what? Your feet. Not what he had in mind, but he snapped his sweats back up and said, sure. She scrambled around and plopped down on his lap. She grabbed his pudgy cheeks and gushed, Monty, I love you. Do you? He found himself cooing back as he hugged her. He wasn't drunk or high, but it was like the effects of the X were seeping into him through osmosis. How much do you love me, baby? So much, she purred, all loopy. She crushed herself into his chest. Please don't ever leave me. Never, baby, he whispered back, taking great pleasure in being the temporary object of her affection. He couldn't resist pressing his boner up between her legs. It took every ounce of self control he had to not push that thong a little to one side, slip himself out of his sweats, and go in for the kill. I'm always here for you, precious. Everyone leaves me, she breathed directly into his ear. My father Jamal, dot, dot, dot. Just give it to her, Lamont told himself. She wants it. She needs it. Sup, stop being so selfish, man. Monty, she purred, detecting Lamont's stiffness between her legs and wiggling on it. Yeah, Lamont moaned softly. She pressed her hand on top of his bulging sweats and chirped, Oh, you love me too. A hard ick does not equal love, he thought. But right now, honey, I sure like you a hell of a lot. Do you like it when girls get that half Brazilian? Uh-huh, he hummed enthusiastically. Vanessa says guys love it. You don't think it looks weird? She stood up, took 2 steps back, and yanked her nightgown up. Give me your honest opinion. This girl drunk as shit. Before she could expose herself, Lamont closed his eyes frantically, waved his hands, and screamed, No! Like he was a vampire and her Brazilian wax vagina was a cross. With her thumb inside the top of her thong ready to flash, she said, I just want you to tell me if you think it's exy. I do, he wailed, thinking. I just saw it and it's exy as hell. I do. I know what it looks like. She bent over and kissed him softly on his closed eyelids, then on his forehead and both sides of his face. Lamont opened his eyes and looked up at her, and she batted her long eyelashes. Show me how much you love me, she pleaded tenderly. Lamont was ready to throw in the towel and give her what she wanted. How long does it take to get blue balls? He wondered. He wouldn't know. He'd never been denied X. What happened to you kissing my feet, hun? He said to distract her. He didn't know how much longer he could keep her at bay. She dropped to the floor and slipped off one of his socks. She kissed the top of his right foot. She looked at him. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, saying you had nasty feet and all. He shook his left foot. Don't forget the other one. Kneeling on the floor, she pulled off his other sock and kissed his left foot. She tripping. She is tripping. He slipped his hand inside his sweats and stroked. He was just about to say, Come here, sweetheart. Let me show you something, when there was a soft knock at the door.